Okay, cool. Let me go here.
Hello everybody, my name is Mike.
Oh no. Alright, come on. Work. There we go. Okay, that should load it up. Nice. There we go. Okay. And I think we're okay. Alright, what's up everybody? How we doing today? Hope you're doing good. Let's go ahead and get some music going. Um, what? Kitty's chirping at me. What? 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 The dog is looking at me now. Um, let's see here. Okay, hold on one second. We're getting there. Getting there. Um, Added some songs here to the queue up here. Your library. Second. Here. Similarities. Okay. I think we're okay, so let's go to my library and we'll just play from the top here. All right, everybody. What's going on? Um, okay. Welcome into the stream, everybody. Hope you're having a good day so far. Let me go ahead and grab a drink, and we'll go ahead and get this thing going. All right. What the dog doing? What the dog doing? You guys hungry for dinner? Get you guys some food too. Alright, cool. Actually, look. Kitty, don't be drinking my soda. The kitty drinking my soda. What the kitty doing? All right. What's up, everybody? Hope we're having a good day so far. We're back. Okay. I drank some soda and went down the wrong pipe. My bad. I just got on YouTube to watch a video on stacks and heaps, but now I'm here. Nice. What's up, AT? Welcome back. Avinash, welcome back in, dude. Hey, Tim. Welcome back in, boy. Yeah, we got that lineup, huh? We went over and got a. I told the guy, I showed him a picture of what I usually get. It's usually a little bit, it's pretty shaggy. It's kind of longer, more kind of just loose and whatever. Guy pulled out the clippers. It's like, what is going on? Bro started chopping my stuff right off. I was just sitting there like, oh boy. But I was like, you know what? Just hair, it'll grow back, let him cook. So I just let him do what he wanted to do, and it turned out okay. And no big deal. It wasn't that expensive, and it's just hair. It's just for whatever. It'll grow back. Um, but in a couple weeks, it'll look nice and back to my kind of shaggy usual how I have it. But it's pretty short right now. He definitely started going off the grain. All right. I need to fill up my water bottle. What's up, everybody? Welcome back into the stream today. So this one's kind of fun. I actually went ahead and I plugged in the HDMI cord to my laptop. So now I have both monitors here hooked up as well as my laptop with the OBS on it. So I've got my the book over here on this other monitor, and then I've got my code here on my main monitor. And so I went ahead and created the source on OBS, and it's over here on the left side, as you can see, right over here. And so let me know how you guys like it. If it's too zoomed in or whatnot, I figured it'd be nice for the. I figured it would be nice for the kind of format rather than having to go back and forth, especially for like building, right? It might be really nice for like building while we do building and stuff. So let me know how you like the format. Yeah, bro, Tim. Bro just pulled out the clippers. I literally showed them a picture of kind of some loose, shaggier hair of what I had last time, which does not involve any amount of clippers at all. The buzzers. That's the first thing bro pulled out. He knew one thing and one thing only, lining him up. He said, I'm not messing around with nothing else. Okay, let's get into this. So we're back into chapter 8 of C Programming, a Modern Approach, but we're going to be taking a stab at the programming projects. Jeez Louise. Cool. So we in this. Let's go here. We have how many projects? We have 3, 8. I think there's a lot. I think there's like 17. Ooh, my goodness gracious. 17. Oh my gosh. 4 I in 1, 17. We're gonna make dir chapter 8 programming project underscore I. Okay, let's bring this back and let's do .c. I'll make this a touch rather than a make dir. Cool. Number 1, load it up. All right, you guys, welcome into the stream. If you're here, part of the early crew, leave a like. If you guys could, it would be really appreciated. All right, let's keep it rolling. Okay, let's keep it pushing. Number one, you guys, here we go. Let's go, let's zoom out a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Modify the repdigit.c program from section 8.1 so that it shows which digits, if any, were repeated. So section 8.1, the rep digit. Okay, so I'm actually going to go over here and open up another instance of this. Oh, shoot. That didn't do what I wanted. My bad. Oh, no. Can I open up a second instance? No. That's frustrating. Okay, whatever. Section 8.1, rep digits. Okay, so let's go back here. Rep digits. It's probably this guy. It's reverse. I think it's here. Yeah, right here. Okay, so we're gonna modify this guy. So this checks numbers for repeated digits, include standard bool.h. So you need to include this. Okay. We have an array of 10 size for false. We read in. So this pre-assigns, this has to be of size 10 though, right? When given an n size number of n, the program. So this is determining. Okay. So let's just get this program in here. Okay. It would include the standard bool.h. Let's have int main void, open this up. Bool digit scene, which is an array of size 10, which is false. So all these will be false. Int digit, and long n. We're gonna print f and read and print out, enter a number. We're then going to scan f and read in a long integer and save that value into n. We are then going to say while n is greater than 0, right? So we're going to continually have a number that's greater than 0 and then reduce it down, or we're not going to enter this loop at all if it's negative. we're gonna rip off the digit by doing n modulo 10 by getting the least significant digit. If digit is digit seen index of that digit, then we're going to, in this program, break. Else, digit seen of that digit gets set to true. And then we have n divided equals by 10, and we save that. And that's the end of the while loop. So then we say if, right, there's any value of n that's greater than 0 left over, we did a repeated digit. Right? Else, we don't need to do this. Okay, and then obviously we return 0. Okay, so what's happening here is we're establishing an array of Boolean values set all to false of 10 of them. Now we give a digit. Oh, I get it, right? Because you only need to evaluate if you repeat a digit 0 through 9, which is 10 positions, and you don't really care the length of the number. You just need to know if it was repeated at all, 0 through 9. Cool. So that's fine. So then what's the actual problem of this ask here? That's easy. So we want to modify the repdigit.c program from 8.1 so that it shows which digits, if any, were repeated. Okay, so we're then going to loop through. So if there is repeated digits, we're going to go like this. Repeated digits, and then it's going to go here, and then we're going to print like this, and then what I'm going to do is do for we have 10 positions, so or we'll say int I, which equals to 0, while I is less than 10, right? I plus plus. We'll open this up. What we're going to do is say if digit seen index of I, right? If digit seen index of I is greater than whatever, but we don't want to break. If digit seen index a digit, and we've already seen this digit, we're going to break right away. So rather than breaking right away, let's just continue the loop, right? So we're going to get the least significant digit or the ones place digit every single time. Right? If, let's say it's a 1 or a 2 or a 3, so it's a 1. So a digit at index of 1, right, if it's seen already, then we're going to just continue. No, because we're going to break. I'm getting confused. Okay, so we're going to break out of the loop once we see that the digit seen of that digit, like basically keeping like a true false array counter for that digit index. Now this will break out of the loop once we've seen that that digit is, and we won't actually reduce. Is that what I'm wanting to do? So lots of chats. Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Okay, hold up. So we peel off the last one. If the digit seen of that digit is in the breakout, else we set that digit to true. Now this is just breaking out, meaning that we repeated a digit right away. I'm wanting to go through and make sure I find all of the repeated digits. So I don't want to break prematurely, right? I just want to continue and move that one down. So if I've already seen this digit, I'll just continue right away, I think. Right, or if we don't continue off this statement, we're going to say, okay, we haven't seen this digit yet, so we're going to say, oh, now this is our first time seeing it, and we'll reduce n down. So then what we're going to do is we're going to loop 10 times and say if we have seen a digit, oh, hold on. But this just gets digits seen. I guess we'll do bool repeated of size 10 is equal to false. This is just seen, right? So we need to establish a array for whether that value is repeated. So if we actually have seen that value, we're going to say this value is repeated, right? And of that digit, and we'll set this equal to true. And then we're going to continue off of this. Well, we've already established that this is repeated, so we don't want to break right away, well, because we want to move on to the next digit, right? Oh. Hold up real quick. So we need to do this real quick. Right. So then what we're going to do is if if digit C, if repeated of I, then what we're going to do, if repeated of I is present, then we're going to printf %d here and insert the value of I. And I guess we'll print a space at the end. And then what we'll do is we'll just print f at the end of the loop here, a new line. Okay, let's try it. We'll find out. GCC-0. Boop. Error. Oh, shoot. Brackets. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1. No. Shoot. I'm trying to remember. Can I just not press space afterwards? No. Uh-oh, what's going on? We're reading in the log into n. Uh-oh. Here we go, boys. Hey, how's it going? Welcome, everybody. What if that value is too big? No, it's just... What the heck? We scan F. We read in. Is it reading it and it's just... But it's getting caught in this loop? Oh, because this is just continuing. Right, okay, that's fine. Okay, so we fixed the infinite loop problem, but now it's not getting our repeated digits. Um, oh, because, right, this is going to here. So we're actually not going to do this determination because we're actually looping through and not breaking out early anymore. So what we're going to do is do this. We'll get rid of this. So I wonder if we could sum. Maybe we sum and then we if they say none, right? Could we sum and say if the sum is greater, like something like this? So we'll print out repeated digits, right? And then we'll do our for loop. We'll loop through. We'll print any if there are any. Um, we'll do a condition saying if the sum of the maybe I could just do like an individual flag as well that just says repeated gets like repeated found gets set to true, and so then this never triggers based on a flag. I'm probably just overthinking it, being a little bit too nitpicky here, but it's whatever. Um, so we'll just print out repeated digits. Um, I guess actually let's do this. We'll say repeated is set equal to true. And then I guess we'll establish a repeated, like just tracker. I mean, maybe it's overkill. Maybe there's a different way we can do it. I'm just not thinking of it right away. And we'll establish this equal to false at the start, right? So if we ever hit one, then we'll just trigger this. Yeah, it'll get like overwrote written basically true, 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 but um, whatever. And so then if I go ahead and say here, if repeated, then we're going to go ahead and print out this portion here, right? Else we're going to do this and return 0. Something like that. Scene is set to false. So if I set the digit equal to scene, set it to false. So the digit scene has 10 places. It's set to false. I'm looping over after I accept the number and I read it in. If I see that digit before, then I go to the index of that said digit between 0 and 9, and I flag it as true, that I've seen it before. Maybe I said, okay, yeah, true. I mean, whatever, we'll find out. Let's try it. If repeated, we'll always evaluate to true. Oh, this is because it's a variable. It's this same as this index. Okay, so, sorry. All right, that worked. Let's try it again. Oh, let's go. All right, cool. Not too bad. Um, cool. All right, so what we did here was we loop until we reduce the value, the long integer, down to 0, meaning that we've shaved off all of the ones place digits through this operation here, evaluating digits in their single one, digit form, um, 0 through 9, basically, right? So if we have seen that digit before, then we'll mark that place um, as true within the repeated, and then we just switch a flag that we've seen here to true. Um, I mean, maybe I could sum the amount of repeated time digits we've seen or whatever, and then if you have, but it would be the same thing as a flag, basically, right? You're just summing rather than whatever. Anywho, um, else we'll go ahead and actually say that we've seen that digit, and then we'll go ahead and shave off that value to the next lowest uh, denomination, lower denomination. Um, if we have repeated at the end, then we're going to go through the repeated sequence, else no repeated digits, and return. Let's make sure really quickly that that else sequence hits. All right, nice. We'll say this. Yo, Ketchum's back here. What's going on, dude? What's going on? Welcome back. Did you ever finish the Harvard course we were doing? Welcome back, dude. Appreciate you being here. All right. Let me get my Streamlabs open so we can see who subscribes. My bad, y'all. Ignacio, thanks so much for the subscribe on YouTube. Ignacio Jr. Appreciate you so much for being here. Let me grab the heated blanket. It's a little bit chilly. Okay. Sweet. It's cold. Okay, that was number one. Let's move on. Number two. Number two here says modify the repdigit.c program from 8.1 so that it prints a table showing how many times each digit appears in the number. Oh, okay. For this one, so what we're going to have to do is instead of setting this to false, what we'll do is we'll set all of these to 0, right? And actually, I don't even think we need this. Maybe we just set all of this to 0. Set this to an integer. Okay. We say if digit seen of that digit. Okay, we're going to say cool. Digit seen. So actually, it's kind of more simple than that even. So if we don't even need to say digit seen, we just need to loop through and increase the digit seen value of that digit index by 1 and then modify it downward, right? And then we don't have to do this. We just need to say print digit, right? And then this goes away as well. Bring this back. Rid of this. We say digit, and then we print a tab, I'm guessing, right? And then what we'll do is we'll print all of the digits in a loop. So we need to loop through and print out, I guess, something like this. Just print I, right, with the space afterwards. We need to print a new line in between this. Take this down here. This becomes occurrences. And then we loop through digit seen. Right? And we print the value of digit seen index of I. Right? I think it's just that. So we print. So all we're doing is just counting the amount of times we've seen the digits, basically 0 through 9. So we just need to loop through all of the digits and do a count through them all in a digit seen int array now. And then just loop through, print out 0 through 9 after we print out digit and then a tab. And then do occurrences in a tab. And print out all the values. I mean, let's try it out. We'll see, that's for sure. GCC-0. Let's take this, run exe. That guy. Oh, missing some. Always. Always. Where else? Where else? 2534. Oh. Oh. Where? 25? I did that. And call to identify print. Oh, it's print, not printf. My bad. Okay. Yeah, we chilling now. Let's go. Okay. So now we just need to figure out the spacings here. So how do you do the spacings if you have like different size words? Hmm. Am I going to deploy this project on Vercel? What? This is just like my notes and stuff. It's on GitHub. You think it's percent %T? Try percent %T for which one? I'm sorry. So how do we get this? So how do we get this to line up? That's my question here. We do a tab here. This tab is not, that's a pretty weak tab, really. Oh, probably because it, huh. Hmm. You can do left padding for the text to be a fixed width. Then them should align. Within the numbers here. Well, why do these tabs give different spacings? This is like 2 spaces, whereas this tab gave like 5. Well, it's like hmm. Confused. Yeah, we talked about the left. We talked about the padding, but does that go? That obviously the only place it could go would be the percent %D here. So we say this has a minimum padding width. Okay, let's just do this. Let's just say this has a minimum padding width of 2, and let's actually remove the, and then we'll say to the left. Dang it. So that still kept our, we don't need the spaces anymore, right? Because now we have that minimum field width. But those tabs are not working. What happens if I get rid of the tab after the occurrences here? Curious. But the tab there is only 2 spaces. When I add the tab to this one, it gives me like 5 spaces. Interesting. Um, so obviously this has, that's what I've never understood is how do they line up the values? Let's see what plus you do. I never. It just moves to the next tab, not a number of spaces. Okay, got you. So there must be some kind of like hidden boundaries within the text that delimit tabs, right? And would move to the next one. So there must be Um, this must overlap into one of the tabs, right? So it would move to the next tab, which is way over here. That's probably what it is. The tab ends here, and so because it bleeds into a tab, it has to push to that third tab. Okay. So if you just do tab, but that's not what we want to do. I mean, if you look at the example, the digit really is the one that has that has the tabs, so it has the spacing, like, you know, but it's not that much. It's not that much. Huh. Oh yeah, probably this would be the -2. That's giving me field width of 2 on the number, so I don't have to put a space, right? And it's left aligning them, which I guess the negative doesn't really matter, right? Okay, let's see here. Let's take this and let's go. How can you get the text to align like a grid? Tabs are unreliable for alignment. Never use tabs for column alignment. Use fixed width formatter specifiers instead. Okay, so it wants us to just restrict um, wants us to just restrict the use field width on the actual titles, right? Up to a certain degree. Um, Probably based on the max length of whatever string you're going to give it out of the headers, right? The titles. So what we'll do is we'll actually go like this. Let's go ahead and put in percent -12s and put in digit right here, digits. Do that, and then we'll do the same thing here. Percent -12s, because we're going to use string to input these, right? Okay, so then if we run this, boom. All right, cool. Nice. We're really close. All we need to do is just that. Cool. All right, that solves that one. That's number 2, boys. Down in the bank. What do we think about that one? Everyone good on that one? We moving on number 3. If you're doing the problems with us, alongside us, let us know. Open up your IDE and start doing the problems with us alongside us. It doesn't hurt. It just gives you more practice, and you might as well, if you're sitting here watching me, might as well try it along with me. Um, Thanks for being here, guys. My name is Michael. I'm 26, got a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry. I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company where I make and formulate biological controls that are used in like advanced testing and stuff of like human organisms and many different types of organisms, I guess. Appreciate you guys being here. We've been teaching ourselves computer science and programming for a little over a year now. We started off with a deep dive into Python, and now we're starting to dive deeper into C so we can learn more about the computer and computer science and how it's actually working and not abstract it away. So we're in C Programming, a Modern Approach, second edition here. Um, C Programming, a Modern Approach, second edition, chapter 8 on, we just learned about arrays in C, which are like lists in Python, right? Got some exposure into C at the beginning of 2025 by completing CS50X, which was a great exposure. But we needed some more. It's pretty vague. Okay, let's keep going. Number 3, modify the rep.digit.c program of section 8.1 so the user can enter more than one number to be tested for repeated digits. The program should terminate when the user enters a number that is less than or equal to 0. Oh, crap. Okay. So we're going to have to say enter a number, and then we're going to have to repeatedly um, so while um, so we're going to have to identify if the number that the user enters, which will be the n, while n is greater than 0. I know we're already doing that, right? But bear with me here. This will become nested, right? So while n is greater than 0, we're going to scan f the user's input we have to scan f initially. Right, we have to read that in. Do this if it is, perform operations on it, and then prompt the user here to enter in another number. If that number so then what'll happen is this will get saved into n potentially, I think, via here, and then trigger the end of the loop. N will get reevaluated. So what if we turn this into a do scan f? What if we do scan f of this, right? And we open this up and we say while n is greater than 0. Right, because we want to scan in one time no matter what. Now, once this loop ends, I guess n is... No, because n is... once this loop ends, n could potentially already be 0, and we need to reprompt. We don't want to reprompt twice, so that's not right. Maybe there is a way to use a do while, but it's not in my wheelhouse at the moment. So we scan initially. While that number that we scanned in is greater than 0, we're going to go ahead and do operations on it to detect if there is repeated digits. Once we perform all that operations and reduce that down, we're going to scan in for a new number. And then that'll reevaluate again. I think that this is okay. We'll try this. No. What just happened? What just happened? What is this? Am I trolling? Did I type something in wrong here? I don't think so. No? What? Oh my god. Initial undefined. What? Anybody know what this means? Find a main function. What? 32 gigs of RAM, Muna. Why is this happening? What is going on? This sucks. Why is there always something that goes wrong? GCC-0. Undefined symbols for architecture ARM64. Oh, wait, yo, sorry. Oh, my bad, you guys. I modified the program, but I did not go into the right file. It's my fault. Let me see if I can go back here to the other version. So this one's back to what it's supposed to be. Probably right there. That's probably where it's supposed to be. Okay, so now, here we go, my bad. It's always my fault, right? That's how it always is. It's always something you're doing wrong. How'd that work? Let's go. Okay, hold on. So let's try it one more time. Let's bring this up. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 should have 3 counts for each of those. Yes! Let's go! Dubs. Okay. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back in. If you guys are enjoying the stream, if you could drop a little like skis on it. Completely free. It really helps out the channel, and just a solo guy out here trying to make it. So you could drop a like on it. Appreciate you being here. I have a Discord link down below with all of my resources that I learned with, as well as you can kind of join a community, more tight knit community, for free. So consider checking that out. All right, moving on. Number 4. Cool. Let's zoom out a little bit here. Number 4. Modify the reverse.c program of section 8.1 to use the expression int size of a index of 0, or a macro with this value for the length of the array. Okay, so we need to go back and look up reverse.c from section 8.1. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to include the standard io.h header file, and we're going to define an n to be 10. We have an int main void function that we're going to have an integer array of size big N and also an integer I. We're going to call a printf function where we will say enter a integer numbers, and we will enter in big N there. Or say for I equals to 0, while I is less than big N, I plus plus. Let's open up our for loop. I guess we don't need to do that. Let's just scanf the integer %d that we're going to read into each of the values of the array A for that index I. So what's happening is we're looping over the length of this array, indicated by this size n here, and then we're going to save each of the scanned in values into, scanned in characters of integer type. We're then going to call printf as well. Where we're going to, in reverse order, right? Then we're going to say for I equals to big N less than 1, while I is greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus. We're going to go in reverse order from n minus 1 up until I is equal to 0, including that value of 0. And we're going to access basically the reverse he does a space in there. What I'm going to do is just do a %2d. Cool. And then we're going to include \n. Let's return 0. Cool. So that's the reverse of a string here, or a string of numbers rather. So what we'll do is we'll go into the terminal here. So our goal for this problem, let's go back down. Number 4. We want to use the length expression here for the array length. So the thing is how can we I wonder, is it wanting us, because we can't use it here because we don't know the size of the length of the array. We don't know how many numbers they're going to put in. Right. So it's not like we can use, we have to just have a size predetermined out front here. Now, once we know how many is in there, but that kind of is, we already know it's 10, right? Um, how's Biochem job market? Cooked. What's going on, dude? Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out where it wants us to put this one because we can't define it here, or maybe we do. Well, no, maybe because we need to establish a, you say int array of just blank size. Then you say enter numbers and you save that into, can't, right? You need to know how many numbers they entered. But we need to know how many numbers they entered, but it's not like we can append or anything right now. Because it's just determined at instantiation, the size of it. So it has to basically go here for the reverse. Now, why? It just seems kind of silly because we have n already to determine how many times we need to loop over for the reverse. I don't know, it seems kind of silly to like just substitute n out here. Right. Okay, let's keep going. This is going to be a cast of size of array A over x to 0. Right. It would just go in for the n, which seems kind of dumb, but I don't know. This problem's kind of silly. If I'm understanding it right, hopefully I am. Oh, it wants us 10 numbers in the prompt. I didn't even see that. My fault. Oh my god. Okay, so it wants 10 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Uh-oh. Where do we mess up here? And enter 10 numbers. We're going to loop from 0 up until 10 and insert the values that we entered into there. And then we don't actually hit this print. We're getting stuck in this, right? Enter 10 numbers. Didn't like it. Let's try it again. If we enter in less than, obviously it doesn't work. If we enter in more, okay, it breaks. Until we enter in a character it looked like. Did that problem from before, did I miss something? Huh. Enter 10 numbers. Oh, hold on. Maybe it's separated by spaces. Ah, yeah. Okay, that's how it is. It scans in the digit, hits the delimiter of the space, stops, fills that, keeps going in the loop. Okay, gotcha. Right, I was thinking that entire sequence of numbers was one number and trying to read that in. Gotcha. Yeah, the white space does a little tricky on scanf stuff. Alright. So what was our goal? Okay, well, yeah, we did it here. Is that all we wanted to do for this one? It's just kind of silly. Like, why would we just replace the macro that's already established for whatever n is? I don't know. Is that did I solve this one? Is that what it's asking for you guys? What do you guys think? We checkbox moving on? Yeah, Minecraft, good call. Put space between the numbers, you said. Good call. Right on. Okay, cool. Cool. You think we're good, guys? Everybody solid on that one? That one was a little bit funny. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next one then. Number 5. Okay. Number 5. Modify the interest.c program of section 8.1 so that it compounds interest monthly instead of annually. The form of the output shouldn't change. The balance should still be shown at annual intervals. Interest.c in section 8.1. Honestly, I don't really like the ones where it has to go back and modify. It's so annoying going back and looking for these. Oh, this one's really big. Come on. Sucks. Okay. I wonder how well it will do if we copy. Probably not very. Not bad. Okay. Okay. It's not bad. think we can manage with this. Low rate, numbers, years, cool. We gotta get rid of all these guys. Sorry guys. This is probably so annoying, like, bro. Enter interest rate. Scan F. What does it say? Percent D, I think. All right. Low rate. Printf, number of years. Cool. That one worked out nice. Scanf, percent D, num years. Nice. Printf here. Years. Okay, so what is going on here? So we have interest rates, a array, a value of size 5. We call enter interest rate, and then we read that interest rate in. We call enter, and we read in that number of years. We print out years. Okay, now we start actually doing some displaying here of data. Okay, so we say for I equals to 0, I is less than num rates, I plus plus, right? Open this up. The laziness we go through to not have to write code. So 6D percent. Percent T. Low rate plus I. Value at index of I is equal to the initial balance. Let me call it printf to here. People say just type it. Okay, we'll type it from here on out, whatever. Okay, for year equals to 1, year less than or equal to num years, years plus plus. Open up this for loop. We're going to print f and insert 3% d, or sorry, quote percent 3d, so 3 spaces are filled with right bound with a bunch of spaces here. So like this. Weird. And then we put in the year here. And then within here, we're going to go for I equals to 0, I less than the num rates, I plus plus, open, value at index of I plus equals to low rate plus I divided by 100.0 times the value at index of I Then we're going to call one more printf here for %7.2 rounded f for the value at index of I. And then that ends that for loop. Then we're going to print f in between each of the outer iterations. And then return 0 here. Okay. So we have int I, low rate, num years, and years. We have floats of double precision of 5 of them in value array. We enter an interest rate. We save that in the low rate. We then call printf for them to enter the number of years they want to do this for. Enter years. We then print years. And then for I equals 0 up until the number of rates, up until num rates, which is set here to the length of the value array. So the value array is of size 5 right up front. Right? What's the point of having that? What's the, you know? Hey AJ, welcome back, dude. It's been good. We've been solving some of these problems here in C programming, modern approach. We're on number 5 here. Okay, so then what does it want us to do for this problem? Let's go down again. So compounds interest monthly instead of annually. Okay. So number of years is this, right? And then this loops over for year equals to 1, right? So we'll say for month equals to 1, year equals to, or month, while month is less than right, so we want to do this for months instead. So we're going to say for month, now you have 1 month, 12 months, that's 1 year, number of years. So while month divided by 12, right, is less than or equal to the number of years. So if we want to do 2 years, we need to do 24 months. So we'll do 20, get to 20, 23, 20, 22, 23, get to 24, divided by 12, that's 2 years. Number of years is less than or equal to number of years. So we're going to stop after this iteration. Okay, good, I think that's right. And so then what we're going to do is print, but it wants us to output. The output should not change. Okay, so we're going to print, not the year here. We don't want to print 12 times. So if we're on a whole year, then we're going to print, right? So what we'll do is this. Oh, sorry. Sorry, hold on. Let me go back. What's going on? Yeah, we're doing number 5 right now. Um, so it wants us to enter number of months. So enter number of months. Okay, maybe it stays as years. It prints how many years and the number of rates that we're going. Yeah, the number of rates. You're going to compute, print the years. You're going to print the low rate plus I. So it's going to be 0, which is the low rate. And then 1 plus the low rate, 2 plus the low rate, 3 plus the low rate. What is this? Actually printing. Uber. This program. Oops, sorry. Oh, got you. Okay, so prints out the low rate plus 1. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Got you. And then it puts the value of I as the initial balance. Okay, so it sets the initial balance, which is 100 for all of the initial years. And then what it does is it computes over each year and for every rate in that year, right, using this two-dimensional array. Or it's not double-dimensional array, it's kind of multi-dimensional in the way it's being printed or whatever, but right, for every year, and then for every rate within that year, we're going to compute the value for that year. Yeah, the value for that year, or value for that rate, a plus I. Okay, this just computes the value, right? And then this prints out the year associated here. Got you. Okay. So if we wanted to switch this to doing it monthly, right, this loops over years. But maybe we would establish, this would be like we had before, a month, okay? Month is 1, right? While month divided by 12, or floored by 12, well, month divided by 12 is less than or equal to the number of years. We're going to continually increase the month, right? But we want to make sure we print out the year here. So I guess what we could say is if the month mod 12 is equal to 0, meaning that this is a whole year currently that we're on, then we're going to go ahead and print the month divided by 12. Right, we're going to take this, print the month divided by 12, which will determine the whole year that it's on, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, so on, so on, so on. And then we're going to compute the rate I mean, that doesn't really solve this problem though, because it's wanting us to compound interest monthly instead of annually. So this is still compounding the interest num rates is equal to the size of the value array. And the size of the value array is initialized to 5, right? A double value of 5, 5. Okay, I'm trying to think here. So, why exactly is it doing this? Okay, so we have a value array that's set to 5. Because that's just the default for the number of rates that's going to be calculated for, right? Each increasing by 1. And then just so happens that we did 5 years by 5 rates. We could enter in 2 years by 5 rates or whatever. I saw this guy, AJ Brady. He's a pretty popular YouTube guy and web dev person, and he was talking about how he's basically like all in on AI, and then like in the middle of his, he's like, yeah, I'm all in on AI, and then like right after that, like he was just giving a spiel about how he's all in, and then included in that he intertwined a pitch for his course about AI and whatnot. So it's just like I don't know, dude. The salesmen are out, man. Okay. Um, got you. So this is just computing a value based off of this. Okay. Now, so we print years. This computes rates and prints them. How many rates that we're going to do. Got you. So I don't think this is what we modify at all. Now this does this for every month. We're going to print out the month divided by 12 to get to the whole month, right? And then what we're going to do is say for I equals to 0. We're going to compute the rate for the month. So I probably need to sum, because this is going to do, so we need to sum for the entire month. So we have to do this. Okay, got you. So this is going for each month, basically in the year. We're going to compute a ah this one's interesting because I'm trying to figure out how we would use the months. We have to compute it monthly, meaning that we need to continually sum the interest rate zero to the number of rates, which is the same as the value. 5%, 6%, so we're going to convert that to a decimal and multiply it by the previous value of I at value. Okay, so then we would take, if you wanted to do that on a monthly basis, but then sum for the year. For I equals 0, I less than the number of rates, I plus plus. So that's going to calculate the number of rates for that year, right? That's going to calculate the number of rates for that year. But then what we want to do is take the oh crap. So you enter number of years and you compute the initial balance, saving 100 for each of the value initially. Then you compute 100 times the rate of 6%. Got you. And then you print out the value rounded to 2 decimals with 7 widths of field. So then if I wanted to compute, I think I'm just going to confuse with computes interest monthly instead of annually. So we start off every month up until the number of years. We would then compute kind kind of getting confused with monthly or something. The output should not change. The balance should show at annual intervals still. So we compute how much interest you accumulated for the month. The interest rate. Monthly instead of annually. So the interest rate, number of years. What am I supposed to? Um, I'm getting stumped here. I'm just not really understanding. Let me go here. Let me ask real quick. Let me say, um, no code, just words. I am getting a little stuck trying to convert to monthly um, calculation of interest, but keeping output in annual. You apply the full annual rate, you print the balance. You want monthly compounding and annual output. That means your interest applied 12 times per year. Let's try this. Let's say, let me back up my code to the, where we had it to the start. So let's add in, what if we say, monthly rate is a double, right? We get a low rate and a number of years. Right? So we have a monthly rate here. This gives you a low rate and the number of years. We compute monthly rate is equal to the low rate no, because the monthly rate is for that year. Right. So this is doing the low rate plus I for 5 rates. So for 5 rates, we're computing the annual interest here. Why am I so trash at this? Okay, so if we want to, I read your chats. I'm just not gonna like just blatantly listen to your guys' things. I'm trying to do things for myself here. Stealing from chat is no different than just reading it from AI. So if we compute a monthly interest rate, then we can just divide we have a monthly rate, we can just divide our low rate by 12. Now the thing is, do we want to compute that at each pass as we increase the rate by I here? Let's just sets 100 to all of those and prints out. So I don't think it happens there. So if you go here and say for every, this is looping over the years, right? And printing out the year. So if we were to say for month, and month equals to 1, while month is, what did I say before? Um, right. So while the month divided by 12 is less than or equal to the number of years, we're going to increase the month forward. Cool. So then would be compute a rate here for this month. So we'll say monthly rate is equal to well, actually, right. Yeah. It's just the low rate divided by 12. Where do I put this actually? Okay. So we're looping over the months here, and we compute a monthly rate, which is equal to the low rate divided by 12. Or what if we're already computing over every year, right? And then what if we compute a inner loop for every month here? Well, maybe we'll do that. Let's take this loop here. We'll print off every year here. For every month up until, we don't need to do this actually. This will be 12. Right, until month goes to 12. We'll compute a monthly rate. So the monthly rate gets computed beforehand, probably. So then we have, my brain's slowing down here. We've been doing this for too long. Gotta take a break. So we're going over for every year. We're gonna print out the year. Then we're gonna go for every month. Now, maybe it's not low rate, maybe it's monthly rate here. times the value. Oh, I forgot to start the Twitch today. Oh shoot, my bad, yo. Rip. Okay, so this is going from this is going to compute the rate. So what's going on here? So we're looping over every year and printing out the year, but then we're going through every month. So this was the computation for every year based on the annual rate that it was given. Right? So the value, which is the rate at this year, at this month, maybe we don't even need this outer year loop either. We could just take this, print this if the month is a whole year, if the total months is a whole year, right? And then compute this based on the monthly rate plus I. What is the plus I? So this is doing the 6, then I'm doing 7% divided by 100, so 0.07 times the previous value, right? So it'd be 100 gives us to 6 plus 100 gives us to 106 for the first iteration, then 112, 119, 126, 133, so on, so on, so on. Okay. Now, if we were to compute this monthly, you're earning $6 of interest per month, or sorry, per year. Meaning that if you were to break that down into, you have to do that a fraction of that 12 times, so you need to just do it by the monthly rate by the I. Do you include the I? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So let's just say we get rid of this outer loop here. We say for month 1 up until month divided by 12 is less than or equal to the number of years, right? We'll take this and we'll say if month modulo 12 is equal to 0, then do this, right? And so this is going to be, why am I not understanding the monthly aspect of this? Compounds interest monthly instead of annually. So this will be month divided by 12 here. And so if we're looping them, so now we're going to compute all of the rates That was going to do it for this year, but no. Oh, bro, I'm so trash. I'm cooked. Um, so then we take for I. Is that all it's wanting? No way. Because I feel like we're needing to sum the total interest accrued for every month and then add that to the value previously. Okay. So this is going up. We compute a monthly rate is equal to the low rate plus I divided by 12. Right? We'll compute a monthly rate. We'll add that rate. We'll insert that rate into here. Plus I. No, I don't need to do plus I here. So I'm already doing plus I there. Because if it goes up to 6%, then it goes up to 7%, then 8%, then 9%. But there's just first on the first pass it's 0, so it's going to remain on the rate it was given up front. So 6% plus 0 divided by 12 gives us the rate per month. Then we take the monthly rate, divide it by 100 to convert it to decimal, multiply that by, now do we multiply it by the previous value at I and just keep summing little by little? Let's see if we get the same output here. What did I do last time? 6 and 5? No way. Yeah, okay, so I definitely broke something here. Because I'm not doing it for every month here in the loop. I'm doing it just one time afterwards. Okay. So now we're computing a monthly rate. And I guess maybe we can bring that out here. Compute a monthly rate. Oh, trash. No. Keep thinking here. So month starts at 1 up until we get up to whole years less than the or equal to the number of years total. So 24 months, if its number of years is 2 years, 24 months divided by 12 give us 2. That'd be the last iteration that it will work on. Right? If we are on a whole year, then we're going to go ahead and print the year. So that part works. We compute a monthly rate, which is to the low rate plus I divided by 12. So this would be 6% divided by 12, 7% divided by 12, 8% divided by 12, so on, so on. Now, this part is going bad here for this printing. Because we're doing it a lot more times than it should. We're also not printing the year. We're not printing the year. Huh. Pretty much rolling. Um, okay. We are not doing this appropriately. The years, because we're computing and printing months 5 times for every month. That's not what we're trying to do. We only want to print it on every year. Oh, okay, hold on. Let's get some feedback here. You're very close. Okay. We're pretty close to this. Let's get some hints. Rates when I is here in this monthly rate. Yeah, we calculate interest rates here. Obviously, it's still wrong. If we calculate monthly interest rate within, we have access to an I. Okay. Now we're printing every month, right, instead of year. So I guess, do we do this same thing just up there? Like if this, then print every year here. It's not modifying at all. Because then the print, this guy has to go here. Six percent for 5 years. Oh well. Oh, so maybe then it goes here. I think I'm just spitballing here, guys. Oh, holy crap. If your month modulo 12 was your print 0 year label, but the value still prints 12 times. per year. One new line per year. Is that not that? Oh, 6% for 1 year. Way down there. Outer loop is months, inner loop is rates. Every 12 months you print the year. Print all balances potentially and the new line. So maybe we just do it there on its own. Like up at the top. No. We would need to compute a value though for that position before we print. So maybe we move this to the bottom here. Oh, and then we need to open this to here like that. Like this, but it's that time of night where we gotta probably take a break. It's getting tough. Okay, so the years are getting there. Shoot. How are we finding C so far? It's going good. I like it so far. It's fun. It's a lot more like up to you for it's like completely up to you for things. There's nothing behind the hood really. So well, there is stuff, but not as much as Python, right? Okay, we're almost there. So we're printing. Let's walk through this. We're printing new line, and then we're doing for every month, 1 through all the months, right? We're going to compute the value plus equals I'm really not sure what exactly is going on. Printing the value I after the loop. This is wrong because printf is outside the for I number 8's plus plus loop. If you want to print all the rates, you must loop over I while printing. Oh, because... Okay, so let's take this and move this into this loop here. This goes away. That's nice. gotta get organized here. Doing this. So now we're printing the year too much. 5 times. Printing the year. Okay, so we're looping over all the months given the number of years. We're just doing a little conversion here. We're then saying we have a number of rates that we're going to calculate for this given month, right? So we compute a monthly rate for this month given the number of rate increase that we're on. We then compute the value based on the previous one and then this new month that we're on. We're going to increase to the next month, basically, okay? Now, if the month that we're on is a whole year, right? Then we print the year, print the value, the index of I. So why is this printing 100 every single time? For 5 times. What the heck? Later, Azan. Thanks so much for coming in, dude. Appreciate you so much for being here. You're awesome. Okay. That's a feedback. Should the year number be printed once per year or once per rate? Right now, your code prints the year inside the rate loop. Right? This means that the year label repeats each value, yeah, because we're doing it, we're printing out. Okay, so let me take this then and move it outside of this one. And here. I don't think that does it either. Did we already try this? Okay, so we got the years in the right spot now. We're just overflowing this. Okay, we got the years in the right spot. Now we're just causing this overflow here. Or something happening here. It's the same number. The value at I here. Now this prints the value right after on that year. Found the same book you're reading in my grandpa's house today from 1996. That's cool, dude. Got the vintage version. That's pretty cool. What's the value of I at this point in the program? It's right here. So what is the value at index I at this point in the program? Well, at this point in the program, it's a whole year, and the value is the accumulation of monthly rates, and the starting value summed up until this point in the year. Remember that I was last used in a for loop of here. Okay, so we're accessing I out of bounds here. That's why we're getting a bad value here. So then what do we need to access here? We're doing month divided by 12 equals 0. So if the year is a whole year, right? If we finish on a whole year, we print out the year, which is correct. Then we access the value index of the month divided by 12. Maybe? No. That's the value of the year given. Loop is already ended, so I is no longer reverted to a valid index. Yeah, the loop is already ended here. Uh-huh. So would you need another conditional in this one to print just that value? Hmm. Okay, so we were pretty close here. Okay, got you. So we're printing I. We say for I. I think that's what it would be. Okay, but we're not completing the update the monthly rate. Hmm. Um, mm, mm, mm. Let's keep pushing here. So it's obviously something to do with the compounding of our monthly rate. So flow rate plus I divided by 12 divided by 100. We made it 0.0, so it's a flow, that's fine. Value, index I plus equals the monthly rate times the value. This isn't right. Oh, there we go. So because this is computed monthly, it's a little bit different. Let me see. So because this is added monthly, the rounding is slightly different for a rate at 6%. The first year when compounded monthly is 106.17 versus 106 annually. This is the math thing we're supposed to do. So you pay interest at one time versus interest with a fractional amount each time that adds up. So in the grand scheme of things, it's better to pay interest, I guess, all at once then. That's like the lesson learned here. Okay, the lesson learned is to try to pay interest all at once or as soon as possible. Yeah, it makes sense because right, you can pay off your mortgage like 15 years further if you just make one more payment a year in advance on like a 30-year mortgage. You can cut it down by like a third or something like that. By the way the math works. Interesting. That one was a little tougher, for sure. Okay, so I think I was just getting confused on the what it was wanting me to do for loopings, and then also with the math going on with the computation of the interest rate. So, um, yeah, need to, but I think we figured it out here. We had the right idea at from the very start, right? We converted that year loop into a month loop, right? We can use a monthly rate to add, and then we just needed some way to display the years appropriately. So we had like 75 to 80% there from the first like 10 15 minutes of starting. But then that last 10% took us a while to get to. It's all good. That was fun though. You guys are learning C and joining me here. Appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with me. My name is Michael. I tried to teach myself pretty in a transparent manner computer science and programming independently here after my 9 to 5 job as a chemist. I've been doing this for about a year now, a little over a year, and it's been quite the journey. So if you are also struggling with you're on your own front to hold yourself accountable, to find time on your own to like find time on your own to work and do problems. Maybe use this stream as a resource to, okay, you see the notification that I'm live, I'm spending time grinding, maybe have a little bit of like a competitive drive, but obviously like it's not a competition at all, but like, oh, he's learning, well, I'm gonna go learn too. I don't want to, get left behind. Kind of have that internal competition. Um, it kind of helps, but obviously it's not a competition. It's learning, it's fun, but you can kind of motivate yourself that way by being like, oh, he's learning now, I gotta go learn too. What's my excuse? So yeah, thanks so much for being here and joining the stream. Appreciate you guys all being here. Let's take a read at number 6, and if it's too hard, or if it's something that'll take us a while, I'll probably take a stab at it next time. We have 17 programming projects at the end of chapter 8 here, so it's quite the load here. Pause. Bruh. Okay, so number 6 says the prototypical internet newbie is a fellow named B1FF who has a unique way of writing messages. Here's a typical B1FF communique. What is this? Has anybody heard of this before? Hey dude, C is really cool. Okay, so it just uses anytime you can use a number that represent a letter, it does it. Write a B1FF filter that reads a message entered by the user and translates it into B1FF speak. Okay, so we need to map basically letters to certain numbers. Your program should convert the message to uppercase letters, substitute digits for certain letters, and then append 10 or so exclamation marks. Store the original message in an array of characters, then go back through the array, translating and printing characters one by one. Okay. So the thing is how would you, the thing is how would you instantiate an array of unknown size? Right? So that's my question. Any of you guys have any idea? Right? So my question is so let's do this. Let's include the standard io.h in main void. The thing is, right, is we're going to say printf enter message. Just make an arbitrary large array. Interesting. Enter message, right? And then we could say while good char, we need to what is the get char in? Oh gosh. Where's my get char? Nothing. What? I thought I took notes on this. I know I did. Where is it? No. I swear. Where is it? It's gotta be here. Size of. Okay. Is it in C types? But maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, get char reads one character from the terminal returns an invalid, does not skip any white space, put char writes a single character. Okay. So I'm not even sure if we really need an array because we don't know how many characters the user is going to enter, so I don't want to establish an array of like unknowns. You can't like append to an array, and I want to overfill it. So maybe we'll do this. While int char, which equals to get char, right? Well, that does not equal to, what was the, I lost it in my notes again. See just a small example of get char here. Wanted to see the limiting. So it's a backslash n is the okay. Backslash n quote. Okay, so that's our while loop. Okay, we're close. We just needed the delimiter there. So while the character that we're going to receive from the input is not equal to the backslash n character, right, what we're going to do is we're receiving the character here. So let's say we go switch on the character case. Oh, I forgot switch case too. How did the all of the syntax? It's hard to remember it all. Layout, defining macros. Might be chapter 3. Printf, scanf. No, chapter 4 then. Incrementing, decrementing, evaluations, arithmetic operators, expressions was chapter 4. We're looking for, what are we looking for? We're looking for a switch case. Maybe chapter 5. Yeah, it'll be here. Switch statement, here we go. Okay, here we go. So case there, then whatever you want, and then the colon. Okay. So the case of, so capital A wraps to 4. So let's open up an ASCII chart here. Every time I see a switch, I get sad because I miss rest switch statement or match statements. Yeah, Python has match and default and stuff. Okay, so we'll switch. So let's get, where's our ASCII chart? Here we go. All right, here we go. So capital A, or we want to do, oh my, why, I can never remember. I need to write these down like more like a hot, um, to upper, what standard H is it? Is this in C types? Include standard, C type dot H. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go char, the char equals to char dot, or to upper of the char, right? So this will uppercase it, right? And then what we'll go is we'll do a switch over this. We'll say case of capital A, which equals what, 65? Let's go. So case 65 will be 4. Right, that's the example of switch case, right? And then break out. Okay, so we'll say okay, so we'll print F. Let's see. Actually, this just goes to an integer. We're gonna put 4 here. So case 65 prints a 4. 66 prints an 8. But then we got a break as well, right? Case E, capital E, runs us 69. Sorry, 66, 69. This is going to be a 3. Capital I, 73. Going to print out a 1. Capital O prints out a 0, which is 79. S prints out a 5. Capital S, 83, prints out a 5 and breaks. So then we have case, is it default or do you say default? Let's see here. Yeah, default. So default will just run printf and print out the actual percent %C of the given char. Okay, so we say while the character in the input does not equal to the delimiting character \n, we're going to uppercase the character, And we're going to say, okay, is this character that's uppercase, is it an A, a B, an E, an I, an O, or an S? If it is, convert it to the appropriate integer that's the lookalike. Else, go ahead and just print out the character that's converted to uppercase. Now the thing is what if what if you call to upper on a comma or a space? Nothing bad happens, just returns the same character. Okay. Let's get caught up with some chats again. What's important? You guys just talk about match. That's a good point. Judah says, why not just use case capital A? That's a good idea. Right, we can just do that. Why didn't I do that? That's funny. Okay, let's run this and see what happens. So then we want to also print F. After we do this, we're going to want to print like 10 exclamation points. Then backslash n. Okay, let's try it out. We'll find it out. Okay, GCC-0. Oh, bruh. Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, okay. The break just tells it to. Oh, because you could do whatever it was. What was it called before in the notes? I'm sure it has it here. You could do what's it called? There's some word where fall through, right? You could have, and if you don't have the break, you could have these cases fall through and evaluate multiple conditions or something that might be true. Ah! Default statement not in a switch statement. What? So we need a thing there. What's going on here? Case statement not in a switch, case statement not in a switch, case statement not in a switch. Oh, do you have to open this up? Oh, you do. Okay, sorry. It's not just represented by the semicolons. All right, you open it up. Word. Okay. Oh, with 3 uppers? Come on, dude. You're trolling. Got a lot of errors here. Okay, expected this. Have this in an expression. Oh, I don't think I can assign this while I'm doing that. I think I need to do int like so to get rid of that error. There we go. Enter message. Hello, my name is Michael, and I am 26 years old. Hello, my name is Michael, and I am 26 years old. Oh, let's go. Cool. Listen, you're good, Ryan. Thanks for coming in today, dude. You're awesome. All right, cool. That was number 6. That wasn't too bad. Number 7 says, well, okay, let's see if we'll do this one. Write a program. How long? We've been going for 3 hours so far. Write a program that reads a 5 by 5 array of integers, then prints the row sums and column sums. Okay, this one doesn't seem too bad either. We'll do this one and then we'll call it, okay? And we'll come back and we'll do one more. Uno más. Leave a like on the stream if you're enjoying the stream so far, you guys. Appreciate you being here and hanging out with me. You know, learn and see on your Sunday night isn't the most entertaining thing in the world, you know, playing video games or hanging with friends or out partying or whatnot. But you're in here, learn and see, watching some random guy do C practice problems, doing them on your own alongside me. So pat on the back and good on you guys. Join the Discord and, you know, hopefully we can grow and be successful together as a community, as a group, and maybe we can see if we what we can learn and how we can build stuff with it. So we build projects, read books, just do all live, authentic learning and building here on the channel with minimal AI help. Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Okay, cool. Let's keep pushing. Okay, cool. Number 7, a 5 by 5 array. Okay, cool, that's fine. So this is cool. This is not that bad. I'm gonna include the standard IO .h header file, int main void. Okay, we're gonna have matrix, or we're gonna have, actually this is gonna be an integer matrix. It's going to be 5 by 5, and we'll leave that as is. And then what we're going to say is for int I equals to 0, I less than 5, I'm going to do this int rows equals to 5, columns equals to 5. I'm going to insert rows and columns into there and do rows here. I++. Open this up. So we're going to do 5 iterations here. I will be the values of 0 through 4. What we can do is we can prompt the user, printf, enter row %d, insert I with a colon here. Cool. We're then going to do we're going to do this scanf read in %d space %d space %d space %d %d. We're going to read these into Actually, no. Let's do this. While, or we'll go int num while while num, which equals to get char, and that does not equal to \n, right? So we're gonna do this. We're gonna receive in well, actually, no, I'm not gonna do that because I want to go back to my scanf original and do this. Right? And then I'm just gonna do D E. So we'll scan those values in, and then we'll also declare these A, B, C, D, and E. All right. We'll scan those in. Do you separate? Am I dumb? Is this? Do you separate with comma? Yeah, my bad. Hey, thanks so much for the sub. Appreciate you so much. A, B, C, D. Nice. Appreciate you for joining me. Introduce yourself if you don't mind, and welcome so much. Welcome to the channel. You're awesome. Look, I really need to focus more on PowerShell for work, but here I am looking at a book on C and programming and watching you give me the itch again. Nice, dude. Yeah, come back to our studying, my guy. Welcome. Welcome back. Okay, let's quickly go. So we're going to scan those in. Hey, kitty, stop scratching the couch. Okay, so we say enter row for that I value, and we'll insert the I there. We're going to scan F and receive all 5 values. And then we're going to go matrix index row I column okay, then we'll go like this for int column equals to 0, column less than columns I plus plus, or sorry, column plus plus. We'll do this. We're going to loop over every column, and we're going to go matrix index of I, which will be row in this case. I'm going to change this to row, 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 matrix index of row, matrix index of column, right? We're going to insert the value of So actually, we'll do int nums, which equals to 5 places. We're gonna do for so we're gonna go over every row and say enter row. We're then gonna call scanf for them to receive in the numbers. We're gonna say this for int I equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, right? We're gonna do this. We're gonna go scanf and insert a digit into num's index of I, right? That'll loop and automatically insert into the array of nums the value that they put in. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to insert the values that gave us as that row. So maybe what I can do is actually, I'm already accessing the row, so maybe it's going to go matrix index of row is going to be equal to matrix index of row is going to be equal to the whole row, which is going to be equal to numbers, right? And then that'll do them for all the numbers. Ooh, okay, hiccups. So we're looping over all the rows and saying enter the row values that you're wanting. So you'll scanf 5 numbers and then save that entire row in there. Okay, and that handles that. Then what we're gonna do is go sum of all the rows for int I equals to 0. I less than row I plus plus for okay, right, we're gonna go row sum and column sum. And then what we'll do is say, hey, thanks so much for the sub. Appreciate you so much for joining me here, Andrew. You're awesome. Thanks, Alex G. Naweed, Ahmed, Eureka. Thanks so much for the subs, you guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for following me, and appreciate you guys being here. Let me know if you guys enjoy the content and enjoy the videos that we've been releasing on the channel. So then what we're gonna do is loop through the row totals and column totals. Okay, that's fine. So for every row, right, row sum plus equals to matrix well, this will sum the entire matrix. Oh, hold on. So we'll do this. So we'll go like this. Row sum Wait, what am I doing? Sorry, I'm getting tired here, you guys. Hey, how's it going, Patel? Welcome. Okay, so we're looping over all the rows and saying enter row information. We're then scanning and reading that value into the numbers array, and we're setting the matrix for that row as that nums array. And then, right, we have row sum and column sum equal to 0. We could sum all of these, right? Sum. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're looping over all the rows and going to need to sum the row totals. Oh, it'll be 5. Okay, got you. So row sum's gonna be an array of 5, and then int column sum. It's also gonna be an array of size 5. For I in rows, right, we're going over the rows. What's being done here? My brain's slowing down, you guys. We've been doing this too long. We need a break. Going over 3 hours. So 5 and 5. For int I equals to 0, I is less than the number of rows, I is plus plus. We're going to am I being dumb? This blanket's really hot. I gotta cool down. Whew. Okay, so we have rows and columns, and then the matrix itself. And then we have 5 numbers array that we're going to load in and save as the rows. Then we're going to loop through the matrix and sum all the rows and sum all the columns. So we're going to go through every row. Okay, so we're going to do is this. And then for int j equals to 0, while j less than the number of columns, j plus plus, right? Matrix index row, index column, or sorry, index I, index j. So this is going to go over each part of the matrix. we're going to sum. This is the value at that position in the matrix. Row sum, index of I, it's going to be there for the first row, plus equals this, column sum, index of J, it's going to sum all of the values in that row. Yeah, and then column J, column sum, index of J, plus equals matrix index of J, index of I. Something like this. Any specific reason why you started learning coding? Yeah, so I am a biochemist, and I found instances in my work where I was like, man, it'd be really nice to have some code or programs do this for this. We're doing a lot of like kind of advanced math, pretty like by hand still, and pretty analog. And we have things like iPhones and AI. There's no way we should be doing this by hand and having errors and whatnot. Um, so I was like, man, let me learn to code, and so I did, and I actually solved that problem at my work. I went to my management and I was like, hey, I've been teaching myself to code for over a year now. This was about 3 or 4 months ago. Been teaching myself to code for over a year now. There's this problem I've been noticing at work throughout these formulations that we've been doing. There's just kind of this niche skill of mathematics and matrix manipulation that only a few people on the team know how to do, and it takes them X amount of time to do it with this much error. And I said, if I can get the opportunity and the go ahead to try to write this into a coding or a piece of software to do it for us, I think it'll save this amount of time and this much error. And I did some calculations about what I thought it would be, and they gave me the go ahead to go do it. So I met with a guy, another programmer from another team. My team doesn't have any programming on it. My entire site doesn't have any programming in it. So I had to reach out to a same company but different site in a different state, a software engineer who I worked with, and he helped me write an algorithm using some linear programming that he helped me with, and then I implemented the matrix portion of it to actually formulating an automated matrix for this chemical serum blend. And then I wrote up like an entire GUI for it with Tkinter and Python, and just incorporated the algorithms into it. I incorporated like file loading, input of the actual serum class objects so that you can manipulate the serum objects to perform the algorithms on, and actually doing all that kind of whatever, and it works. I have it. I optimized it for single level and multi-level optimization, so it'll run a single level, and then also will and then also if you want it to, will compute multi-level based off of one another for like a high and a low concentration. And yeah, it took me about 2 months, 2 or 3 months to write. And off, given like a couple of hours, like 2 or 3 hours a day at the end of my work day after I already completed all my other chemistry assignments. So hoping this year's bonus is going to be fat, but we'll see. Probably not. But yeah, that's my main motivations for learning programming, and here we are now. So, yeah. So hold on, let me take this. Let me say, how does this look so far? I want to make sure I'm on the right track. Okay, yeah, that's an error there. Okay, so make sure to do commas for separating multi-declarations. Okay. Oh, then we need to increment rows here. Or row, I'm sorry. Scanf expects a pointer, right? So that's an error too. We need to do a pointer here. In C, you cannot assign. This was also I had a little bit hiccup on. So I thought that maybe this would be an issue. In C, you cannot assign arrays directly. Arrays are not first-class values. You have to copy each element manually. Dang it. Okay, so we'll scan F, enter the row. We scan F, and save this into matrix row index I. So for every 5 rows, so we're going to do 5 rows in the matrix, and we're going to scan in the columns, which are here. Basically, yeah, these are the columns, basically, right? Okay, so column will be 0, 1, 2, 3. Save all that row. Then move on to the next row. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then the next row, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, perfect. So that'll get rid of that. So then we have this. Okay, so let's go back here and like get some more feedback here on this. You fix the scanf and loop issues. Great. Now right now these arrays are uninitialized. So doing plus equals, we'll use garbage values here. So if we say equal to 0, right, equal to 0, but we'd have to do what? This guy, 0, like so, for the notation of an array. Perfect. So we're looping over the row sum and columns, going to row sum, index of I, going to matrix index I of j, so j will go 0. This will make the row sum for that position. Matrix ij. And you sum the entire row. This is where Python, like sum functions and stuff, come in so handy because they do that looping for you. This had to do all in here. It's just, yeah. Is this not, this is still wrong? I is the row node, but J is the column node. Oh yeah, because we're doing, the columns will be changing dynamically here, and the rows will be staying the same, right? So in each pass, the column will be changing here, and the rows will be staying the same. But that works for this one here because we're indexing into I, whereas this one we're indexing into J. So J is increasing. I stays the same here because it only changes in this outer one. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so this is J here. So then in order to, now we just need to actually loop through this to print the values, right? So now we're going to do a printf and do row sums and do this. My headphones died, no. And then we're going to do for int I equals to 0, I less than rows, I plus plus. Open this up. Printf. We're going to printf matrix or %d and do matrix, or sorry, no, row sum index of I. And then at the end of this, we're going to printf and do a \n. Now I'm going to take this, copy it down here, and do column sums. This is for columns, and do column sum like so. And then we're also going to print a \n as well. 0. Okay. Yeah, we wanted some feedback here because the J, they were swapped. You no longer need the matrix J index I. Index J index I is wrong because you're swapping row and column, right? Because we didn't need to do the inverse. It's kind of hard to keep track of, but in this case, in this phrase, or well, within here, the J is what's increasing. So J will increase here, and in this case here. So we are going to be increasing and calculating sums for the columns as it goes forward. But the rows lag behind in this outer loop. So this will stay the same, this will stay the same, whereas this is changing. So this is going to increase for every column in said row, where this is going to increase every column for said row, like just like I said above, right? Okay, cool. And then, nice. So then I don't need this. And let's run this. Let's see what happens here. GCC-0. Tons of, yeah, my bad. My bad. Enter row 0. Let me there. Oh. Let's try that again. Enter row 0. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So this should be 9, 7, 9. Right, to everything. First row should be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Good. Column should be column sums is 15. I don't think that's right, no. Should be 10, no? 7, 8, 9, 10 plus 5. Oh, sorry. 7, 8, 9, 10 plus 5, 15. Yeah. Okay, good. This is working. All right, let's get some feedback on this. Let's get some feedback on this no code, please. You're looping row by row, asking the user to enter values. You're reading directly into matrix row column. You're prompting the user to enter row for the integer that the row is on. Cool. You initialize row sum and row and column sum to 0. This is perfect. Your loop structure outer loops over I, inner loop over j. You do row sum index I plus equals to the matrix, column sum index j plus equals to the matrix. And then you print by looping over the rows and the columns. Print each row sum. The row sums, right? These are just arrays of size 5 for the sum of each of the 5 rows and 5 columns, right? So 5 values, which are sums of the 5 columns. So it's a little bit tricky to kind of keep in track of, but okay, cool. All right, you guys. That was number 7. So we got halfway through the programming projects, or not even halfway through. We have 10 more. Oh boy. These ones are pretty long, so it'll probably take us a few streams to get through. I'm not in any rush, as you guys know. I like to really take my time, learn what I'm actually coding and writing. There's this huge wave recently of just like, prompt engineering, letting not even just vibe coding, not even looking at what you write, not even writing any code anymore. People trying to sell you courses and stuff about, how to prompt. And I don't know, it's just really weird right now. A lot of funky stuff going on. People, saying that you won't even be typing out your own code anymore. I don't know how true that is. Honestly, I really don't know. But um, I don't really care, to be honest. I'm just having fun hanging out with you guys, coding. Um, whether it's coding or painting or running or whatever. I'm just hanging out, having fun with you guys doing something. So as long as we're stimulating our brain and at least being productive in some front, it can't be that bad. So I appreciate you guys being here and hanging out. This is a lot of fun as we are working through these problems. Yeah, I am pretty slow, like I said, at doing these, but I am trying to really go line by line, understand exactly what's going on, really write clean, solid code for the logic that it needs and whatnot, and really focus on that. So let's go ahead and push up real quick what we got so far. We'll finish, we'll say complete 7 of 17 programming projects for chapter 8. Cool. The calculus review, that fizzled out pretty quick. Honestly, it's tough because I want to really keep programming, but doing that math kind of stuff kind of takes time away from programming, and so we can try to intertwine the math stuff into the programming, but not a lot of instances where we do intertwine it lately for what we're doing. Building stuff in React and whatnot doesn't really require much calculus. But anywho, appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with me. This was the C Programming: A Modern Approach Chapter 8 programming projects. We did 7 of 17 today. So good chunk done today. We streamed for over 3.5 hours. A nice long stream to get back into the groove of things after the break for the new year. So 2026 is going to be a great year for learning programming. So make sure you subscribe and follow along. We're at 4,230 subscribers. So huge stream today. We went up like 20 something subs. So thank you guys so much for being here and following along. I've got chapter readings and like audiobooks of the entire chapters on my channel in video forms, or you can go back and watch the VODs for more thorough breakdowns without edits. I have a Discord link down below with all my resources for free. Yeah, you guys, that's kind of it for tonight. Please message me if you have any questions. Um, yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night and peace out, y'all.